solar flare destroys the national grid. There's going to be looting. There's going to be national grid electrically, planes failing, banks, hospitals, your fridge. They're talking about explode. Solar storms can trigger auroras on Earth. The stars explosion could destroy a planet's atmosphere. This is all the incoming information we're getting right now. As human behavior is changing, we had solar radiation incoming. We had a ground level event that happened. This ground level event made a lot of people start to feel different things. And I said, was it in the throat area? And a lot of them said yes. I did some little deeper research because certain types of radiation, of solar radiation, whether regular or nuclear radiation, can affect you differently. And I found this strange that a lot of people were saying that they had that feeling there. You were affected, Professor, but they're saying our atmosphere is about to change. We're hitting a solar disaster era, which you sent me something, and I'll put this up right now. It says scientists say sun may enter decades long period of intense solar activity.
Oh, sure.
Behavior changes. They haven't warned us of that yet, and that's something big that is people are going to start really reacting differently. And I want you to get into some of that. I'll get into the clothing material and everything else and what we potentially might witness.
Hmm. What would you like me to start off there first? We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
What would you like me to discuss there first? Would you like me to discuss the human health first, or
I think that a lot of people in the comment section, I think they want to know how people are going to start reacting. Once all this goes down, let's get into the disaster
oh yeah,
scenario.
oh yes,
Yeah.
with the disaster, with the power grids going down, exactly. As soon as the power goes out, yeah, there's going to be looting going on, of course, especially with the internet going down and the power outages and with cell phones going down. There'll be no communication. Of course, people are going to be scared. People are going to be nervous.
Here's one that everybody need to really look at. Wars. We're gonna show this really quick. How the activity wars and increased solar geomagnetic activity cited human beings are extremely aggressive and animals are immersed with steady state geomagnetic field. So this is something that needs to be talked about a little bit at large. We have not been warned of that. I have some of the maps where they did these drills, these solar events, the preparedness events, where they show maps, specific zones where we're going to go ahead and just get into it a little bit. So that this human behavior scenario that we're going to be dealing with, they project this to happen January 2028. Let's show you this here on
Wow.
screen. So when you go to the John Hopkins document, you can see January 2028 is when they're projecting this to happen. It's a little shaking there.
Hmm. Yeah.
They expect something to happen then. We go a little bit deeper. This is the map here highlighting the specific zones where
Oh
they
yeah.
expect a lot of, just like the Carrington event.
That's
If this
something
is
I did
too,
on a TikTok page. On my TikTok page, I did something like that back
yeah.
in May. Exactly. I did a warning, NASA warning on that. Yes.
So these areas right here that we're looking at, so these areas that was purple could be out for like a long period of time, but that Carrington event, those areas it could have like electrical wires getting sparked, like fires sparking in those areas. Once we do hit the next level of this, so not just aggressive human behavior could start to show up. This is
Oh,
going to be
of
something
course.
that you need to prepare for, but we want to hear your take on the professor who you've been researching this for 30 plus years about how we should approach these situations, how we can be more prepared as a community, and what to look at and watch for.
Well, war is something that's going to be on our doorsteps, whether we like it or not. Hal Turner, I don't know if anybody knows anything about Hal Turner's radio program. he said something very chilling, and he said that Ukraine is going to have to start burning their chicken manure. Um, and that's crazy. I mean, they're going to have to start burning their chicken manure for heat for this winter. That's how bad it is over there. And he said, what's happening over there can happen on our doorsteps very, very soon. And I think he's right. It's not a question of it's not a question of if. It's a question of when. It's a question of when. I do think it's when. I mean, a Carrington event, everybody thinks, it could never happen. It actually almost happened in 1989. Carrington event almost happened in 1989. That's how close. And we're going to have these solar storms for maybe the next 50 to the next 100 years. So buckle up, people. We're not out of the woods yet. And just this solar storm we had was, what, a G5? We're not out of the woods. And they're saying it's not a question of, not a question of if anymore. It's a question of when. And these solar storms are not only going to continue, they're going to get worse. They're going to get worse.
Yeah, as the activity elevated, this is what I was looking at. I think people should be alert of. So let's read. Let's read about human behavior. Let's read about the NIH talking about this specifically. Human beings are extremely aggressive animals who are immersed with steady state geomagnetic field. A small component of this field displays periodic changes in amplitude. Symmetrical lag lead analysis -6 years to +6 years in the present study involving annual global geomagnetic activity, interference of solar activity, and the release of total global seismic energy indicated that the numbers of armed conflicts and wars for the first half of the 20th century were moderately associated with global geomagnetic activity the same year. That's the National Institutes of Health. So when you take that into account, and we look at how when they wait for planetary alignments to happen and they wait for the geomagnetic, it's not that they're 100% waiting, is that they know the timeline of how these events play out. And if we know the timeline, we educate ourselves a little bit better, Professor. So also, unrest starts to be something that raises up a little bit more for everybody in the comment section. If you have questions you'd like to ask, make sure you put that in the comment section. And if I can't get to it, make it like a super chat, and I'll make sure I get to it because it's moving really fast right now.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we're gonna see people start to get more erratic, and it could get to the point to where they lose this spiritual sense of control. And this is not going to be just because the solar activity is increasing, it's because that ground level event with the solar radiation also mixing in our atmosphere. So now the interesting thing is, let's look at this really quick because a lot of people say, yeah, they were having like inflammation. I'm going to show you this little study really quick before we go right into the situation, everybody. So
Hmm.
check this out right here. It's a graph. So this graph right here, it says some studies suggest correlation between increased solar
Hmm.
activity and more aggressive human behavior, including higher rates of crime, social unrest, and violent incidents, possibly due to
Of
solar
course.
storms' effect on Earth's magnetic field. Now we're about to go a little bit deeper here because we have to get into the scenario where the ground level event just happened and it triggered like this 20 years we haven't seen the radiation spike here. But there's still a question that happened,
Oh, yeah.
we didn't happen to figure out yet. And I was like, all right, well, what type of is it only solar radiation? Because when it's only solar radiation, when I was looking it up, solar radiation does not cause sore throat in general public, and it says it's very rare for that to happen. That's like another side effect of a different type of radiation. And I was like, well, what does that mean? Do you think there could have been mixture of other things in the atmosphere? Because you sent me some photos of the sky being red, and you were talking about sky glows. What else is it? Contents of iron mixing. or other things that's happening that's causing other things as well, even with them spraying?
Now, I know I was down at my daughter's one time. She was living in Virginia, and I don't know what it was, but I just had this runny nose, and it wouldn't stop. The entire time I was down there, it just would not stop. I didn't have a cold, I didn't have anything of the sort. It just had a runny nose that just would not stop. And I remember when I was smaller, having a bout of radiation when I was small, and I remember the side effects of it. And one of it was runny nose and sore throat. And that's something you just never forget.
This is a volcano erupting today. Volcano eruption in Japan as an activity. It is pretty much shot up ash up to 4,400 meters.
Yeah.
As the activity increase, this just happened today. We're gonna see all this start to happen. So you're saying how you have the mucus coming, and then we have the ash shooting up from
Hmm.
volcanoes, and it's like kind of like floating all over. But it's the pollution they say that mixed with solar radiation that with all these spraying projects we have going on, which people reported across the channel in the comments, they say it was like a lot of spraying. I looked up and I saw it too. Was this intentional during this event that could cause some other reaction that was necessary for, let's say, a hidden group of people? They have an objective.
Well, I mean, all that stuff that's this ash that's been thrown into the atmosphere, it can cause all kinds of sickness, all kinds of respiratory problems as well. Look at people's health problems today. I mean, look at my health problems. Look at my breathing problems. Jesus, I got
You
asthma, COPD. I'm walking time bombs some days. I sleep with an oxygen machine, and I'm only in my 50s. I got a body of an 85-year-old. You know, both my sisters are, we got one foot in the grave. It, and my grandfather's generation, they lived into their 80s. I mean, something's got to give here.
you
And
were you were
I'm
affected
starting to
by the
question
solar
this stuff.
storms.
I'm really starting to question it.
You said
What?
you was affected by the solar storms too, because the top people on the list was neurologically affected people, people who are sensitive to energy, animals, and so you felt what a lot of people here was feeling. They said palpitations. I'm looking in the comments.
Heart
Um,
palpitations. It's not been set in stone, but there's a study going on. It's actually something I'm working on in my next report on seismic activity. I'm working on solar storms and working on the what it's doing to the human health. And I do believe it's affecting people's health. Definitely, it's affecting people's health, um, especially with cardiac people with seizures. I know I had a seizure at what 51 years old. Um, Increased blood pressure. People with heart attacks. I'm on Coumadin, so yeah, I do know. I cut myself just before talking to you. I bled for about a half hour. It's always fun with Coumadin, but people have been complaining about problems with these solar events. So you know, there has to be a study going on, and people, they are studying this stuff. I know, and I know I'm going to be doing an investigation of my own because it affects me, and I know it affects other people in my condition. So yeah, it has to be looked at.
for sure. Like, so let's go into this study here. And the reason why they don't want to tell us, they want us maybe to just experience this event without having any precautions. That is my guess. Now, going into this a little bit deeper, the top areas in these locations where we just showed a map to everybody, we want to talk about the top locations now. And I'm reading from the document here. It's called the Space Weather Tabletop Exercise in Johns Hopkins University Applied. So what we have is FEMA Region 8, and you could be in this region, and you might be across the world, so you might not be. But either way, all this is valuable information, which encompasses Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, was specifically selected as a critical partner in the TTX. This was the exercise because it was previously designed to work with NOAA SWPC as a center of excellence for space weather prediction. Throughout the exercise, RH served as a local proxy to represent the communication chain and decision-making authorities at the state, local, tribal, territorial level. I'm gonna show you what this looks like here on screen. So that makes these areas just that much more important here. These are the actual people in these events here, participants right there in the federal regions of these
Mhm.
agencies. And so these are going to be the prime. Okay, I'm back here. I
You're
went out.
back. Okay, we lost you
All
there
right,
for a minute. That could be another solar storm.
got
We've
everybody.
been
Oh
getting
my
a lot
God.
of that stuff lately. Software glitches is another issue with this solar events too.
Yeah, that's definitely happening. But I'm back.
Yeah.
Everybody like freaking out. Oh my God, they got him. They got my news. All right, so check it out. They project this on January 2028. But here's what they say. The world will be significantly degraded with increased thermospheric drag, will lead to loss in accuracy and knowledge in North American Aerospace Defense Command, which is NORAD satellite control. It says mirror power grid effects addressed in Module 2 will be severe impacts. The G5 storm triggered geomagnetically induced currents that cause power outages across the greater Denver metropolitan area and all these other areas we show. So we just had a G5.
Right.
Luckily, we didn't get these effects yet. Why do you think we didn't get the full
It
Carrington
all
event
depends.
effects?
It all depends where these storms hit, and it all depends. It takes time for the Earth to to ionize all the energy as well, and you know it didn't hit on the way it hit on the Earth. It was I believe it hit. Where did it hit the solar storm this time? It hit somewhere near Africa, I believe. I think that's where it hit. Uh, so it depends where it hits. Also, it will affect the particular region.
Yeah,
So
it was blackouts across Africa, they said. So,
yeah. So
people in the
like I
chat.
said, it's a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before it hits a particular region, and or that area could be hit. So it's just a matter of time.
It seems like in this map, the west area was the least affected. Like when I look at it, western, like the lower parts of Arizona, lower parts of California, like really lower parts, but everywhere else, all the way up past Canada, got affected really bad.
And then again, it also depends on the power grid structure too. Depends how critical their power grids are too. Uh, you know, Especially if their power grids are very very you know outdated. It could be very critical. If a
Yeah.
solar storm hits that in a particular way, it could really destroy it. That matter, and shut down the grid for days, or even weeks.
Oh, yeah. People asking
Depends,
in the comments
what
right now.
type of storm. The G5 storm. Yeah, definitely
People
could
asking in
scare.
the comments about the purple section. The purple section is total loss of power. It's the worst case. Like the red is like it's loss of power, but it's still like some areas operational. The purple, like just total loss of power. And
Yeah,
the
that'd be
areas they're
total.
projecting that, the areas they're projecting that is like the East Coast, northern Canada, and then like some areas in maybe New Jersey, New York looking. Like I'll show you again just so everybody can confirm the locations and stuff like that. So you
Oh
can
yeah,
see. So yeah, that's the projections that they have right there in their exercise. So I'm gonna come back in. I think the biggest things to like really prepare for throughout these events is the situations we're going to deal with in the atmosphere. So, seismic activity, you said we hit the domino effect, correct? We're
hmm
starting to see disaster after disaster from solar to volcano. Like nobody really can keep up anymore at this point. So I
no,
think that this is coming back down to ground level, boots on the ground situations. What's happening in your localized area? How can we watch stuff together? Let's get our warning signs prepared, and let's look at the specific zones that in a solar situation, you don't know any zones. All you know is that I was talking about the mylar reflective material, which basically is going to have to be a new integration of how we dress going through these events. Like the clothing, like we're not educating the public enough to know that, hey, dark clothing, UPF clothing is more protective against solar radiation. Clothes that are like really skin tight are not going to be good because it's going to have it can be penetrated basically by the solar radiation. I'm doing all these studies from confirmed reports, and the question is moving forward, are we going to continue to just go outside without having any precautions? And are we going to start really taking care of ourselves through these events? Because it's gonna change. Like the entire culture of society is gonna change.
the the problem what I see here is our magnetic field. It's weakening,
Yeah,
and the UV rays, as you all know, is they're increasing. I mean, we're going to have UV rays 11, 12, 13, 14. Your cancer rates are also going to increase because of it. So my thing is here, folks, is we're going to have to start preparing ourselves on that end of it as well.
that's
But
true. So how do we deflect the cancer rays specific? Like,
well, that I do not have an answer for at this time as far as protecting yourself as UV rays. I would wear extra sunscreen so you don't get skin cancer. I mean, look at me. I mean, my skin is so white. I mean, I have to wear a sunscreen just to go outside, just here in New Jersey sometimes. So, yeah, I would I would prepare yourself on that end of it. Especially with I mean, I gave you a picture today of the sun here in New Jersey, how bright it was. I thought I was looking at a tropical sun. I mean, I need sunglasses just at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's crazy. Everybody's saying to me, "Why is the sun so bright?" And folks, that's the solar flares that we're getting. So
this is a
bright.
big topic right now. Yeah, I know. Like you talking about your skin and my skin, and some people gonna say, "Well, I'm black. I don't have to worry about that." Yes, you do. Yes, you do have to worry about it because the radiation coming in, the cancers can affect anybody because it's
Mhm.
traveling not just to our skin now, it's going and penetrating the layers of our body. So
Exactly.
the thing is now, I know I myself use nascent iodine, and they say if a nuclear event with the isotopes starting to come out, that would be the first thing you would need to have. So, and then water, getting your body surrounded in water is important for some reason. Water, nascent iodine, these had some effects that even during these nuclear events where isotopes were flowing through, it would help protect people a little bit more. Obviously with the sandbags and everything protecting the windows and everything else. But like, are we going to really have to go into a scenario where we have to not only think about the higher cancers in our environment, but like what we eat? Like some foods are more conductive. If we start to really get down to the conductivity of foods and like different things, like maybe people eating a lot of canned food at the time, is that anything associated with solar storms? From what I looked at, it said no,
Mhm.
it's not. But I just look at conductivity with certain things we have and think that maybe we should rethink a little bit of our the way we're eating through these events.
Well, I mean, to me, uh, coming from somebody that lost over 120 pounds, I mean, that was a lot heavier than this at one time. Um, I mean, I eat mostly everything with protein. I mean, and I eat more, vegetables and more organic stuff now. I try not to eat canned food and stuff like that if I can't help it. So I don't think the food that we eat in the garden. I don't think that's going to be affected in any way. Not that I know of. Um, Canned food, I think, is for something that we're probably going to need in case of
Yeah,
national emergency coming up. You never know, folks. I always say, prepare yourself just in case. Uh, you never know. From one day to the next, you should always have an emergency kit available just in case, especially
yeah,
with things going on today.
100%. Um, so as we go through this and the behavior change and people get erratic, I remember watching something that was called the 100. So this is interesting because it applies to life today. So it's a series called the 100. The sun,
I saw, yes,
yeah.
yes, I saw that.
So the sun gets really crazy, but meanwhile, it was a post-apocalyptic world where radiation had already seeped into the world. Now, I was gonna say, technically, we have radiated fish, we have
Hmm.
radiated shrimp, confirmed. We have
Shrimp,
radiated,
shrimp. Remember I told you about the shrimp?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like you need to stop eating them shrimp, and I'm like, damn, man, order some shrimp, and it's my last time. But here's the thing, like, so if people eat that and we're eating the radiation already, and then we get the radiation incoming and the activity, like they start to really get aggressive, is this some type of radiation internal and also external reacting to each other on a chemical level that could also induce this type of behavior?
Well, if you look at social media, you look at the news today, have you seen folks today? People have
Yeah,
gone crazy. They're nuts. I
yeah,
haven't seen people this crazy in all my years. I've been on this face of this planet for over 50 years. Never in my wildest dreams have I seen people crazy. There's people that disown people over a freaking politician. Never in my life have I ever seen that in my life. Folks, people have gone crazy. They just have gone crazy. I don't know what's wrong with folks, but perhaps it might be from an outside source. Maybe it is from solar radiation.
yeah. And what doesn't make it any
Maybe we
better?
are brainwashed from the media and the politicians. I don't know, but yeah, people have gone crazier.
What makes it worse is like we have frequency induction anyway, and that's coming from multiple locations we can confirm. Whether it's coming from the UAF in Alaska, whether it's coming from multiple CERN observatories and even underwater observatories like KM3 net. They were experimenting the ocean with energy. So we have a lot of different energy sources here that affects human biological life that there is no regard to. So our ocean life, as we go through these events, is already heating up, and we're already having the sun situation. So do you think that? I think pretty much going forward that maybe marine life won't even be something we can eat moving through these events just because too much has already happened now. It's going to be too reactive to everything that's happening.
From one of my reports in the ocean currents, I said there was something dead zones out in the ocean, and there's no ocean life out there, and so there's a lot of areas in the oceans and in the rivers I just wouldn't eat any marine life because they're just too toxic, and I mean they're yeah, and plus they just polluted some of the waters as well. I mean, look what they're trying to do to the Hudson River. They're just dumping 45,000 gallons of toxic waste into the Hudson. I mean, it's crazy, and that's we get drinking water out of there. So what is that going to do to people with toxic waste? I don't care if they say it's it's safe or not. It's toxic waste, please. You know, and
Yeah,
with with that, there's with the oceans, they're heating up in certain areas, and that's creating a lot of dead zones out there, and it's killing a lot of marine life out there. And then you have a lot of underground volcanoes erupting, and you have a lot of earthquakes going on under the water, and it's a lot of these underwater creatures are starting to get loose. That they're deep underground, deep under the water, and they're starting to get loose and you know come to the light. And they had that weird angler fish or something that came, that nasty looking fish. It didn't live long when it got to the surface. But yeah, you're going to see some weird looking fish in the near future. It's going to.
yeah, you'll be eating some three-headed fish. I mean,
No,
after
not
all
me. I ain't touching any of that weird
you
fish.
want to eat
No,
them.
no, sir. I ain't in none of that fish. No,
Yeah, I'm good on that. I seen the
uh,
photos from
no,
Fukushima.
no, 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 no.
Somebody in the comment section, somebody in the
Mm-mm.
comment section said radiation helps their data centers. I think that speaks volumes. I mean, what are you saying? What do you mean this? So I looked up something, and it says data centers emit low level of non-ionizing electromagnetic radiation, but these levels are well within safety limits. They always
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
But
And then tomorrow I'm going to be, I'm going to be, glowing. I'm going to be
oh
glowing
man,
tomorrow. Yeah,
come on, we gotta be walking around glowing out here because we didn't ate some
yeah,
five-headed fish.
yeah.
But
I'm in
no, but I
enough
feel
trouble with my health. I don't need any more.
yeah.
I got enough issues.
And it sucks too because it's like, oh, what do I start? It's like, because the sardines, you get the sardines and they're like really cheap and the smoked ones anyway. Because everything has to me, everything has to be smoked because it's preserved much longer.
Oh yeah.
And would also always get stuff with like seasoning on that paprika, black pepper, because like if you just get it like without that, the parasites still are able to survive most of that. They don't like paprika, they don't like black pepper, they don't like salt. So I try to remember to keep those things in there.
Yeah, I like eating, seafood, but I don't know if I trust it anymore. I don't know anymore. Especially what's going on today with the news. You hear with all this stuff, what's going on in with the oceans and stuff, and radioactive shrimp and stuff. Just don't know.
So
I don't
as
want.
far as
I don't want to take the chance anymore. I just don't.
so it was just an earthquake by New Hampshire area, close to you in New Jersey. Um, the ground over here in Arizona, they're saying it's an opening happening because of the water. So the water also, as well as we get the solar activity, all is happening. It's starting to, we're starting to have significant water events where, like you were just saying, um, this is a situation you were just talking about. It's another situation where it's like a lot of water scenarios that we're going to be dealing with throughout this solar situation and war potentially as well. So as a community, I just think that right now we should focus a lot on resources, uh, just spiritual, just bringing ourselves into some peace, some calm in the mind, accepting reality for what it is, because there ain't much we can do about the cycles of reality. We can't prepare in survival states and be prepared for that to see what's going to happen next. That's why we're looking at those cycles. Uh, People acting crazy, like the aggressive behavior. Like I said in that one episode, it was getting so crazy in the 100 where they had to tie each other up because it was so bad, because they were like violently going after people. Are we saying that could happen? Potentially, yes. We have to think about all the
Anything,
scenarios.
anything's potential these days.
Yeah.
Anything's potential.
Oh,
That's
somebody
why
talking.
you should have a plan, and I'd start praying at this point. And if you have any conflicts with loved ones, I'd start making up with them. Uh, I'd start making up with people at this point. You never know when you have, you never know when it's going to be the last time. You just never know.
I think now is our best chances to garner community. Like 30 plus years you've been doing a research professor. Less for me, probably just like 8 to 9 years, and I started online. But all those years I soaked up as much as possible. And we heard all these events was coming. We knew that these times were coming. But the steps to garner community right now is going to be so important because this is going to be your backup. Like if we go into these events and we're not oriented, because it's like when I went to Katrina. I was young, but I saw everything that happened. I saw communities gather. I saw how the looting happened. So any disaster event hits and there's no power, within the first 1 to 2 weeks, expect that stores will be hit right away. You will
Hmm.
see stores get hit. You have about maybe just a few days after that to realize, well, what's the next target, and it's going to be homes. So then it's
Yeah.
homes after that. This is exactly what we saw. Some areas had signs up saying "You loot, we shoot." So that's how it's going to be. It's basically going to be a scenario where you're only down to the community that you have. Can you trust the next door neighbors? Can you not? Do you need to start talking to them to know if you can trust them or not? Do you need to know their character, psychology, behavior? All that's going to be important for you and me. And it would be cool if people in the community here maybe could talk to each other and say, "Hey, I'm in this location," and precautiously take steps to meet each other. That's, I think, something that should happen. I think the biggest thing in America is the isolation that we have.
Yeah.
We get this self gratification that we can do it all alone, and maybe we just need to have God. Maybe we just need to have our animals. Maybe we just need to have. We need full synchronicity, spirit, community, God, all of it at once. And I feel that if we were to reach that, our souls will be in the greatest place no matter what happens. And the thing is that's what it comes back down to. And if we can get back that heart, courage, spirited effort once again, we could be responding in different locations when these things go down. That's what's going to help us get through this. That prayer, that meditation on the right things, and taking action together.
Yeah,
So
we
I like
should.
to hear what
You
you have
should
to say.
always, come up with some sort of plan in place for the community. Because I guarantee you, there's a lot of people in the community when things go down, when things get sour. There's gonna be a lot of people that are not gonna know. They're not gonna know what they're gonna not what they're not gonna know what to do. They're gonna be very confused. People are gonna be running around, and you're going to be the only one, only going to be the ones that's going to be like only one in reality. So you're going to be the only one with the level head because you know what's going on. You're the one that was educated on this stuff, so the plan, the one that has the plan in place. You're the one that has everything in place. Oh, you got to be the one to help your community. Number one thing I would do is, you know, help out the elderly in the community because those are the type of people they're going to be the ones that are going to be lost. The people that can't fend for themselves. That's you know, look at for those type of people in your community. Yeah, and you should also look out for the other people in your community. You know, uh, you know, the people who may be ones that might help you. People with military backgrounds, police officers, that kind of thing. They may be able to help you. You know, uh, be able to help you with your help you with getting things together, getting your you know getting people safe. So
Oh yeah, the safe zones. You say you were going to be writing that report too. How long you think it's going
yes,
to take?
I would say give me about another month on that. I got to see what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
Um, and more, I see more of an electromagnetic excursion here. That's what I see. But
Not a pole
oh,
shift.
it doesn't look like a pole. I mean, I'm like complexed on either a pole shift or an excursion. But more and more I look at it, it looks like an excursion to me. But nobody has a game plan on this stuff. I mean, last time this stuff happened, nothing was written down, so nobody's lived through this stuff. So we're not going off of anything. So, but when you look on this stuff and you Google pole shifts, you'll find nothing. But if you Google geomagnetic excursions, you'll find all you want. So maybe it is an excursion, but we'll see. When I
Yeah.
finish
Yes,
my
sir.
research, I'll have my all my 10 reports done by the end of January of 2026.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Y'all could be looking for that there as well. Prepare. Ethereal says prepare garden, can dehydrate foods, medicine, or herbs. How about some of y'all start making videos where we can like, I can be like, hey, go to this person's channel if you want to learn how to do that, or hey, if you're in this location or you're in this area, how about you and it's just like, we just start kind of getting oriented. And it's totally on y'all. I'm not pushing anybody to do anything. I'm just saying, like, the ones who feel the leadership, they feel it in their heart that this is something they were meant to do. Because I feel that. I feel that you should step amongst us and just comment in the comment section, say what you need to say. And I can get with you. We can get further down into all the things we need to. But yeah, Professor, here's the thing. The activity shift with the solar situation, the dynamics of how government operates, which they did this drill, and the crazy part is they say we're not prepared for it. I think that we're being prepped in every way possible just to be left for certain long period duration. They can then build the techno dystopia they want to build. They can then move us to this phase where they get their empire before this total collapse phase. It's the solidification. When you look at the arcs, it's Russia has an arc, so does this. It's like Noah's Ark, correct? Russia has an arc, and one was done in Arizona, where they got samples of all the different plant species, and they're trying to say like they got animals like genes and stuff like that. They expect a recreation, a restarting phase, which is called Genesis, because
Yes.
the end, then and that's why it's genetic. So Genesis, genetic, and they think that they're going to somehow come out of this. They have a center called a black box. This black box records all data on Earth. If you ever look this up, you can Google it. Go look up the black box. This material is so strong that nothing can destroy it. You can have a volcano hit, you can whatever can hit, it's gonna be there. And apparently it's recording every record of every human being and all of us here. And whatever happens, somebody's gonna be able to go here in a future generation, go to this box, and they're gonna be able to open this thing up. And I'm gonna pull it up. What do you think about that? But they want to recreate everything, and they believe somehow they're gonna come out of this. Or maybe they have a certain hideout to where they want to leave a manual for things to
Russia's mo- uh,
restart.
Russia's more prepared than any other country for the coming pole shift, is what I hear. They're prepared. They have I think they're called containers. What I saw in the news, and they were used for World War III scenarios in case of a nuclear war. I don't think they're used for a nuclear war. I think they're used for this coming pole shift. That's what I think they're used for. And somebody from Russia I was speaking to a long time back before we were cut off because I think we're no longer talking with Russia anymore since Putin ended the communications with Google, I believe. Um, and this guy was telling me, yeah, they know all about the pole shift. They know all what's going on with this stuff. You know, other countries they don't know a thing what's going on. Putin knows everything what's going on. That's what he was telling me. But you know, and I've heard that rumor. From different social media sites. I've heard that before. That Russia, they know what's going on with the pole shift, and I think they will make the announcement. As well as with the United States. I think because they're two superpowers, they both have to make the announcement. They both have to make the disclosure.
Which announcement? What specific announcement you talking about? Like they're gonna come out and say,
Well, when they make a disclosure, I believe the two countries have to make the disclosure. United States and Russia would have to make the disclosure. That's when people will freak out. But that won't be until that wouldn't be until like a couple weeks, before the event happens.
yeah, or they're gonna wait to that last big
Yeah,
moment.
they'll wait till the last days. They won't give us a chance.
Well, there you have it, everybody. So if you hear that announcement, you should already know, like, well, I guess that means we have less than a week, maybe.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically.
So I didn't
But
even think about that one for, but this black box that I'm talking about, it's in a remote area of Tasmania, accordingly. And do you know anything about Tasmania? How's that going to be affected? Why is this? The box is indestructible. So this reset happens, and then they have this indestructible
I
box.
could see that being used in case instructable, an indestructible box would probably be used for in case they have to keep something that don't want ever being destroyed. Um, uh,
It's the breakers of society.
the records, uh, something that they probably their AI shit, most likely.
Yeah.
They can't
That
give
could
that stuff up, God forbid.
That's
Uh,
supposed to be 2027 too. So the AI and they're saying that 2027 is supposed to be here. The Apep asteroid, the Egyptian god Apep, which is a snake, that's supposed
yeah.
to be here 2027. So you told me the cycle is about 2026, 2027. That starts to
hmm
line up with that whole Egyptian Apep snake and everything else. AI being fully conscious, talking to us and telling us what we need to do instead of us prompting chat GPT commands.
From what I hear, that you're supposed to see I don't know, some sort of from the Three Eye Atlas. You're supposed to see the 2026 dragon in the sky, and
Dragon.
yeah, uh, that's what
I did
that's
a
what I
stream.
heard. That's what I heard. That's you know, it's
So yeah, like it's kind of like I just showed this King Kong looking thing in the sky, but I did a stream with us with Jay Dreamers, and we seen an aurora that looked like a dragon about maybe over a year ago. But if it happens again, I'll be definitely watching for that. We have the aurora. It looks like so. I think that in these auroras and stuff, spirits manifest themselves. They can show themselves through these light shows and auroras and displays we see. Think that is more than just meets the eye to these scenarios.
right. Like I say, I never bothered trying to prove that planet Nibiru was existed. I always knew if it was there, it would always show up. Uh, it probably is out there based upon all the soft disclosures going on. It's probably what is manipulating our sun right now because of all these freaking solar storms. I wouldn't doubt it if that's what it is. I think it might be something to do with this Three Eye Atlas. I'm not sure. But um, there's a lot of things going on with this Three Eye Atlas that I hear. I hear a ton of things going on the internet lately about it. But we'll see. I'm not, you know, I'll just wait and see what happens. The only thing I'm doing is just worrying about what's happening on our planet. That's all I can do, just to
Yeah.
see what's going on with us and worrying about what the sun is doing. That's what I'm going to worry about. If planet Nibiru shows up, then I'll worry about that then. And that will probably be in report number 10.
I got something that's strange happening right now that this came out right after we had this magnetic disturbance, and I'm pulling it up, and it's about the moon. So they're talking about how they want to have some defense or something, and it was just a couple of days ago. And it's like the military are saying they're tracking objects coming from the moon. This was on space.com. So I'm gonna look this up really quick. Tracking objects coming from the moon right after this flare happened. Why would that be a thing? Is there something happening there too? Like, so that made me think, all right, so we're focusing on the sun, but now they're talking about they're tracking objects coming from the moon. Seems very suspect for me. Tracking, I'm gonna show
Something's
you.
going on in space here. Obviously, there's something going on. I mean,
Okay, 3 days
something
ago.
something is obviously going on. I mean, between the solar storms. I mean, the solar wind. What that did to planet Jupiter, it heated up its magnetic field to 500 degrees Celsius. I mean, it's doing something to the entire solar system. So, and it's changing. It's doing something to the whole damn thing. So, yeah, I mean,
So look, they're saying they're tracking U.S. military wants to track potential threats, and they're saying DARPA wants to. So specifically DARPA. DARPA. Let's read a little bit because this is interesting because it just came out. DARPA has issued a contract solicitation for new ways to process optimal or optical signals that allow for continuous space-based detection and tracking of objects. It says in a vast region of influence by gravitational forces, Earth and the Moon, because tracking systems are designed for keeping tabs on satellites and spacecraft operating from low orbit. Now, this could be like a military tactic, and this could be forces we don't even know about. A lot of people are not open to believe these things are happening, but the sun is within here, within like the realm where we're at. The moon apparently also is too. And if that's the case, then there's a lot going on that we don't know. But for them to publicly come out and say that, are they just misdirecting us? Or is there something else you believe happening there that we're gonna just the sky is gonna be different? We're gonna see the signs in the sky, the things that we've never seen before. We're hitting that time.
Yeah, I think something's definitely going on. There's something going on in space that that they're just not telling us. Obviously, something is going on behind the scenes, and I think probably in 2026, I think we're going to find out. I really do believe we're going to find out.
So in 2026, from your research and studies, like you have this feeling and this research of 30 plus years that gives you that data point. And what's the deeper dive behind 2026 that you know?
Well, I know seismic activity is going to increase. It's definitely going to increase. You've seen it already. And then in 2027, you're definitely going to see volcanic activity increase. I said in 2024, the climate will get worse. And I said that 2025 would definitely be the year of the floods. And it had. It is.
Yeah.
It is the year of the floods. This is all part of this pole shift or this excursion that we're talking about. This is basically the timeline I that I wrote 30 years ago. This is all these events I had in the timeline. This is what's happening before and what's happening during and what's going to happen after. And everything is happening perfectly like I had in my timeline.
What's the biggest event of 2026 that you predicted in your 30-year report? The biggest event of 2026 that you believe was to come?
We're going to definitely have some big seismic activities. I do think something is going to go off. There's going to be a large seismic activity going on. I think could be possibly in the United States, possibly the New Madrid Fault, possibly somewhere California, possibly in maybe even in the Ring of Fire.
What magnitude that you predicted in the between what magnitude you predicted in your
You're going to see something in Ring of Fire. You're going to see something about uh, larger than 8. If you're thinking of New Madrid Fault, it wouldn't be that large. You're thinking it would be something above a 6.0. California would be something larger than a 7.0.
holy
San
mackerel.
Andreas Fault,
Um, yeah, well,
or the
all
Cascadia, one or the other,
yeah,
or
all
both,
the
I hope.
framework that's coming out right now from the executive orders on Cascadia, it kind of leans towards that because they never
Yeah,
did that before.
Cascadia is probably what they're leaning towards is Cascadia.
Yeah, the Pacific Northwest end. Once that happens,
There's so many zones out there. There's so many out there. Uh, it's like throwing darts at a dartboard right now. That's what I feel like I'm doing. I'm throwing darts at a dartboard.
yeah, dartboard in there. I was just thinking about it when you
Yeah,
said that. Like,
that's the way it is. That's the way it is sometimes with this stuff.
yeah, it is. It's like so. This full scale conversation, I want people to understand that Professor Fred Zielenbach, everything he's doing right now is critical because it's the deepest part of his mission that, and myself too, being here, the condition he's going through, he knows that everything he's coming out to say, hopefully, is valued because his time here, he feels that he doesn't really care that much about himself, but he cares more about the greater mission at hand. So, if you want to ask any questions specifically, we want to look in the comment section to have questions to ask the professor that a lot of people are probably wanting to hear as well. So I want to give you some questions from the audience as we're live
Sure.
here, because this is like an opportunity that we can expect to get. A lot of people say, "Oh, can we confirm him?" And I showed the pictures of him in the university in Union College. So like, yeah, we already put all that up. So 'cause a lot of people was looking up information on you. You can probably speak to that for a second to the people who say, "Oh, well, how can we confirm you as a professor?"
Well, uh, I wasn't a professor on the accreditation side. I was a professor on the department side. I worked for a department called the Center for Economic and Workforce Development, and we worked for a department that worked for with people who were from unemployment, from TANF, from disabled workers, and we trained them in programs for 600 hours, and we got them not jobs. We trained them in careers. That's what we did. My end of it was getting them trained in the IT careers. I had a department within a department. I built 12 or 13 computer labs throughout the entire county with all of my students. We built these labs from scratch, from the computers to the cables to the servers to installing the software. And it was hands on because we taught to the students A plus certification, N plus certification. We taught them I'm trying to go back over the years, the Office application, I believe that was called Mouse back then. We taught them, and we sent them to the Cisco Academy as well. And they got college credit, and we got them into college credit courses, and some of them went on to get their bachelor's degrees. And a
Okay,
lot of students, they went on and became technicians, and we helped
great,
them
great. Oh,
develop
so
their
I have a
dreams, I
question
guess.
for you. The question is, Professor, is he aware of the Beetle Beetlejuice or Beetle Guys connection
Oh,
trick?
the Beatles, yes, yes.
Beetle.
That's the star that exploded.
He says this, okay, the connection to trigger pole shift via Dr. Richard Allen Miller, Navy vet intelligence question mark.
Uh,
So
what was the question? I'm sorry.
the question is, are you aware of that connection and will it trigger the pole shift? And basically they named some Dr. Richard Allen Miller, Navy vet
I,
intelligence.
I've heard of the name, but I don't know. I'll have to look into it. It's definitely something I could look into. I definitely would give you an answer. Give me a day or two. I'll definitely give you an answer.
All right. Okay, so this is the
Yeah, but
so
I did hear a few stories. Let me reiterate on that. I have heard a few stories about exploding stars having sort of dust, hitting the earth and doing something. I don't know. I would have to send you the article.
in the
You know, I
beginning,
I
okay,
hear articles and stuff all the time, and I read all kinds of stuff throughout the day. I read so many over 100 articles per day and over 100 videos per day.
yeah. In the beginning, they said that the solar storms can trigger auroras on Earth. The star's explosion could destroy a planet's atmosphere. That's what we had, like, kind of towards the beginning. They talked about this. They saw an explosion during the solar storm that could affect our atmosphere. So another thing that we'll see over the next course of days, we'll keep watching everything play out.
Yes.
Definitely. All right, so everybody, we appreciate you today. We appreciate anything you have in the comment section. Leave it there. Professor will get back to it. We're gonna have more information coming out, and I'll leave a link to the video that I did just the other day. If you made it to the end of this stream, or
Like
you
I
didn't
said, if
see
you
it,
guys got any questions for me, I'm on Threads, I'm on TikTok. Drop me a line. You can always ask me a question.
what's the name again?
It's
Unstreamed,
on unmainstreamed unmainstreamed under
unmainstreamed.
TikTok or Threads.
Got you. All right, Professor, we appreciate you, and hopefully
Not a
this
problem. I'm here to
conversation
help.
changes perceptions today.
Hmm. Absolutely.